redoubles the importance of goods being able to enter Gaza through the legitimate crossing points. Within the Gaza Strip, we condemn the extrajudicial execution by Hamas of 2 Palestinian prisoners on the 15th of April and a further 3 executions carried out today without presidential authority. We call on Hamas not to carry out any further executions. Hamas demolished approximately 20 homes 2 days ago in Rafah, which it alleges were built illegally. Mr. President, we are closely following developments on the ground in East Jerusalem. No demolition orders against Palestinian homes have been implemented during the reporting period, despite official statements threatening further demolitions. No new settlements have been approved or tendered in East Jerusalem. Israel has also publicly stated that there will be no construction in the Ramat Shlomo settlement for 2 years. However, the government continues to state its intention to build settlements in Jerusalem, and there is ongoing settlement activity. Construction in existing Palestinian neighborhoods in East Jerusalem is particularly provocative, such as the start of work on 14 settler housing units within the Ras Al Amoud neighborhood. Marches by right-wing Israelis into East Jerusalem have also caused tensions, as have settler provocations and clashes in Sheikh Jarrah and Silwan. Palestinian institutions in East Jerusalem remain closed. I urge Israel to implement its roadmap obligations and respect international law in East Jerusalem. I stress the utmost importance of all parties showing restraint and responsibility in words and actions regarding Jerusalem. In the remainder of the West Bank, no new tenders have been issued or approvals given for construction of settler units during the reporting period, reflecting Israel's settlement restraint policy. Construction is ongoing due to approvals given prior to the restraint or due to violations of the restraint policy by settlers. The Israeli government is taking certain steps to address violations. The restraint is a step beyond previous Israeli positions and has not come without domestic challenges. We strongly urge that it be extended beyond September and expanded to cover all settlement activity, including in East Jerusalem, and that action is taken to dismantle outposts erected since March 2001 in accordance with the roadmap. Mr. President, both parties have responsibilities to act to maintain a secure environment, and security cooperation between Israel and the Palestinian Authority continues to be an important enabler of improvements in the West Bank. However, there are also worrying trends, in particular a rise in settler violence. 2 mosques were vandalized, one in an arson attack by unidentified assailants on the 4th of May in a village between Nablus and Ramallah. The Israeli authorities condemned these incidents and ordered investigations, but no one has yet been held accountable. Following stone throwing at Israeli vehicles on the 13th of May, a 15-year-old Palestinian boy was shot and killed by unknown assailants believed to be Israelis, an incident that must be fully investigated. I strongly urge Israel to do more to combat violence by settler extremists. By contrast, Israeli forces conducted a significantly increased number of incursions from the previous period, arresting 286 Palestinians and injuring 96 others. A militant was killed in an IDF operation on the 26th of April. Weekly demonstration against the barrier continued, with Israeli security forces using live rounds, rubber-coated bullets, and tear gas to disperse demonstrators. Following recent amendments to a 1969 Israeli military order, which originally authorized the deportation of infiltrators from countries hostile to Israel, there are continuing concerns regarding the number of Palestinians who may be affected by the broad and unspecific terms of the order. The UN is closely monitoring its impact and continuing to seek clarifications. Mr. President, the Palestinian Authority should also continue and intensify its ongoing security efforts in accordance with the roadmap. On the 25th of April, Palestinian security forces seized hundreds of kilograms of explosive, ammunitions and weapons from a number of Hamas arms caches in Nablus and arrested some 35 individuals. President Abbas has also recommitted to combating any incidents of incitement. Looking ahead and building on earlier steps, reduced Israeli incursions and further removal of obstacles to movement, which currently stand at 505, would be very positive. It is equally important that certain security and development steps by the Palestinian Authority are now permitted in Area C. The UN also awaits an Israeli response to a $5 million plan to address some of the most basic humanitarian needs in education, shelter and water and sanitation in Area C. Let me also draw the Council's attention to certain funding concerns. Despite the HLC's call on donors, only $380 million have so far been provided to the Palestinian Authority out of the $1.24 billion required for 2010. I urge increased support for the Palestinian Authority budget. Private sector growth is critical for sustainable economic growth, and in this regard I note that the second Palestine Investment Conference will take place on the 2nd and 3rd of June.